guy, when it comes to amapiano dancing, he's there. He knows how to give the moves there. Oh God!
And that's one thing I love about him, actually.
Yeah.
Like his dance moves.
Yeah.
Don't
He's
go there.
short, but then or just
like robotic kind of layers and everything.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, one of his classic tunes, Big Flexer. Yes, Charlie the way.
Yeah. And recently he did a remix with Akon. And he's gone. And this happened when he was performing on stage. Now let's watch the snippet of he performing on stage before we come and talk about the first aid. We'll talk about the health aspect and then the entertainment aspect of all
we'll literally bite into the
conversation. Yes, we will delve into it in toto, dito. So let's watch some of the excerpts of it. First of all, let's talk about how he fell the first time. Falling, when someone falls the first time, you need to quickly take the person away. If it is not part of the program or if it is not part of the plan, quickly you need to know that there's something wrong somewhere. So you need to quickly take the person off the stage before anything else happens. Now he fell the first time and he stood up. So that was like Chi Mwambeka say, hey, Ojashi was say, so when it happened like that, we were supposed to take him off the stage. It happened the second time, and this time he fell on his face. He falling on his face, we were expecting that first aid. We all know that when people faint or when people fall down, we quickly remove some of the things that are so tight on them, maybe his belt, shoes, or anything that makes him, suffocate at that moment. We need to quickly check that one first, and later we then go to the part where he was carried. He was carried. The way he was carried is something we need to look at.
Of course.
Because when someone falls down, we need to slow down on how we carry the person. We don't quickly carry the person because we feel like we are supposed to rush the person to the hospital. So these are some of the aspects of it. Shaban, what do you think?
You touched on a lot of emphatic words, and I love the fact that you said if it's not part of the plan and you see something going wrong or something you've not planned for, first things first, pay attention to that. I can recall some time that Rema once performed at the diaspora, and at a point he fell just like this, and people were like, oh, what is happening to the guy? What is happening to the guy? And then later on, people tried to take him off the place, and he jumped back and hopped to the stage and started performing again. So it was more like it was part of the craft.
Of the plan,
So that one is different. But this is the case, it wasn't part of the plan. So when you first spotted that, what are you supposed to do? That is why it's not just about being at a hospital before you can see nurses and doctors being there. Entertainment-wise or anything, have professionals there too, so that in case of any emergency, people can, risk their life to help the situation. Like the case, if you don't have professional people in life, just like you're saying that if the person should be carried this way and it wasn't carried that way, maybe the person is not meant to die, but because you're not doing the right thing at the right time, the person might die too. So professionals should be at advantageous points at our entertainment spaces, so that in case of any inconveniences, we can have someone to help the situation. Still talking about, teach, looking at the stagecraft and everything, what do you think could be a benefiting or a contributing factor to his death? What do you think?
The smoke. The stage had so much smoke that I think he could barely see anything. And this is something we need to look at. Yes, we understand that we are all having fun, we are all performing, but the smoke and the strobe lights was just too much.
Was too much.
So when he fell, if it wasn't for those in front, they wouldn't have seen him. You see, so these are all part of the things that we need to look at. And bringing it to our Ghanaian musicians, the stage, sometimes when it comes to performing on stages, it's quite okay when it comes to the smoke and all that, because there are some people who are not really used to the lights, the smoke,
the fragments and all of that.
And sometimes they add fire. There's this sparkle or fire that
Yes.
happens. Hey,
Add beauty to the whole craft and everything.
When I'm performing and it happens, I'll run away.
Oh, what's the way we evolve kakra. But the same way, touching on the fragment light and all of, we can recall to back in December when Miss V was performing at the Afro Nation.
Yeah.
Now we call it Afro Future or something like that. When she wasn't able to give her fans a befitting performance, and the excuse she gave was the lights were just on her face. She could barely see things, so the performance was not really clear and crystal like we were expecting. So relating it to the light and other stage, we know we want to add some creativity to our stages and all of that, but let's care and pay attention to our artists as well. If this thing is not comfortable enough, how can they give it as the best performances and all of that? It's not going to work. And the same way too, I feel like as an artist, you shouldn't look at yourself before you hit the stage. If you are stressed, get time to take good care of yourself before you hit the stage, because energy, dear, we need it. And if you don't have enough energy, how do you give and deliver to your fans?
That's true.
It can end that way too. People drink, smoke before they hit the stage. If you don't have
to touch on that. What can it do?
Charlie.
Nana,